Welcome to my channel. This is AJ and you're at Kingdom Touches. Recently I bought all of the materials to start tufting, basically making rugs and tapestries. In order to do this craft, if that's what we're calling it, you need a frame to work on. The frames can be bought and just assembled, but since I can build things, I thought I'd make my frame myself. The other reasons why I want to make myself is because the ones that you can buy pre-made are usually smaller than what I want right now. I think the pre-made one from the company I've got my tufting gums from, they basically, it's like 4 feet by 4 feet, and I want a 5-foot working area. So I'm starting out with putting up a makeshift table, like a temporary table to work on, and that's what these 2 sawhorses that you see me trying to get the tags and stuff off. That's what this is. This is the first time I'm using these. So I'm just going to set those up with a little piece of board just for me to work on. I'm using some clamps basically to kind of keep the board in position so it doesn't slide while I'm working on it. And that is my 8-foot 2x4s, and I'm cutting these down because I want a 5-foot working area. I'm cutting my 2x4s down to 5 inches, excuse me, not 5 inches, 5 feet and 2 inches. Basically the 2 inches is to account for the overlap when I assemble it. I'm just cutting down 4 pieces with 5, each piece at 5 feet, 2 inches, as I have previously stated. Looked like I was very indecisive with that cut. I don't know what that pause was about. I have no idea what I was thinking or doing that it took me that long to put that down. So I have my 4 pieces. I'm going to start by putting 2 of them perpendicular to each other so I can put them together, assemble it. I'm using some clamps basically to help push them in, to help keep them in place, so I can get a right angle without it slipping. So I'm just gonna use it, and then using my square to make sure that I am definitely at a right angle. Getting my screws. So I'm gonna be pre-drilling some holes. Basically, the pre-drill is to keep my wood from cracking, and I am using 3.5 inch hex screws. I tend to like to use hex screws because it is hard to strip out a hex screw. So That's why I choose to use those versus Phillips head screws. All right, we got one corner. I don't know what I'm propping that on, but we're now going to work on the second corner. Keep in mind, people, I'm left-handed and awkward, so a lot of things look strange because our brains just work differently. But here I am doing the second corner, and basically I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hold it down, use my square to make sure that I have a 90-degree angle, and then I'm going to use two more 3.5-inch hex screws. I got another saw horse over in the corner. That's what's helping me hold it up. We're gonna check this corner, same thing, all the way around. Hold it down with the clamp, make sure we have a 90-degree angle with the square. I was trying to be cute and thought I was going to do this one in the air. Yeah, I don't know who I thought I was fooling, but I'm gonna switch the other sawhorse to the other side so I can get it propped up. I probably should have did a bigger makeshift table, but at this point it's getting cold and I just want to get it done, so I'm just trying to move. And sometimes when you're being lazy, it causes you to have to work harder. And that's what's happening right now. I'm working hard and it's my own fault. Because I just should have made a bigger makeshift table. A bigger temporary table, excuse me. My biggest baby wanted to get in the camera, so I had to send him in the house. Alright, now that I have all four sides assembled, I've clamped the square down. I'm now going to use some L brackets, and in the L brackets I'm going to drill my holes again to keep it from splitting my wood, drilling holes. So I'm going to pre-drill, and then I'm using 1.5-inch hex screws to to screw down these L brackets. Do the same thing on all four sides. I'm kind of flipping the L brackets around as I go around, so that on each board there's a short side and a long side. My corner was a little bit wobbly, so I had to reinforce it a little bit better. Now I'm going to cut the feet, the base for the frame, and I'm using a 4x4 for this one. Forgot how long I chose. I think I chose like 1.5 feet, I think. So I'm using one board as a measurement to cut the next board. I'm drawing the lines in order to assemble the feet of my frame. Now I cut down my legs to where I want them. So I'm using my square to make sure that I have a perfect 90-degree angle. I'm using clamps once again to keep things in place so they don't slide on me while I'm trying to secure them. Once again, I'm going to use the drill to pre-drill holes so that I don't crack my wood. This 4x4 was already cracked, so I should say, so I don't further crack my wood. And for this, I'm using a 5" and 5/16 screw.
It's another day. We didn't get to finish the frame the other day because it got cold outside and my body was saying nasty things to me. Also because I needed more brackets. I'm using a bunch of brackets because I don't want the frame to shake while I'm working. It's probably overkill, but everything I do is overkill. I did one leg, so I got a bracket here, bracket on the inside, bracket on the other side, and 5 and 5/16 bolts going through the bottom through the 2x4. It's not going anywhere. Also off camera, I added these two 2x4s. They're glued and screwed on that side and this side, because I want the frame to slide into the leg and not be in the frame. Hopefully when I'm done you'll understand what I'm talking about as far as not wanting the frame to be by the leg. So what we're going to do right now is do that other leg, and then we can put it all together, and then we should be done.
I'm going to use several sets of brackets, and basically is none of it, all of these brackets are not necessary, as I said in the beginning, overkill, but I'm just doing it to make sure that it's stable, and if it does rock a little bit, it still will be stable. So I'm going to put L brackets on both sides, and then an L bracket going the other way, as you will see. And all of these brackets are being screwed in with hex screws. Applying some weight to it to make sure that it's going to be screwed in correctly. These black brackets are heavy duty brackets. Now on the bottom I'm putting in 2 5 5/16 hex screws, and that's again for stability. There we have our two legs. So now I'm going to assemble the two legs. I thought about putting a 5 5/16 screw in here too, but I decided against it because the 5 5/16 would go through the front board, the middle boards, but just barely into the last board. So I just changed it to 3.5 inch hex screws, and I'm just going to put them on both sides. It was not lining up, so I put that bracket on there to hold it tight so it would line up like I needed it to. It's sort of like an extra pair of hands. And I'm going to do the same screws on the back as well. Now I'm putting on this middle 4x4, I'm putting on there again for stability, to give it some weight in the middle. So that's the purpose of why I'm sliding this in on the bottom. It's just to give it some weight to keep it stable on the bottom, so there's no chance of it tipping over. I'm now getting ready to install the rug strips, and basically what a rug strip is, you see it has the nails in it for you to hammer it in, but they, on the other side of it, they have like little nails that stick out of it, and the purpose of those little nails that stick out of it, and that's where you pull your cloth for tufting over on those little nails. Surprisingly enough, I'm known to be clumsy at times, but I was really surprised. I walked away from this without a scar because I just knew I was gonna come away bleeding from all types of places because, yeah, I have my clumsy moments. I do. So the rug strips come in 4 feet pieces. So I'm just putting on all the 4 feet pieces that would fit that I don't have to cut to size. And then the little part, like right here, I'm measuring so I can cut the piece to size like I need it. And I'm going to use a handsaw to cut. I believe that piece was like 15 inches that I needed to cut down from that 4-foot piece. So just cut it down. I believe I had to cut 4 pieces. This one I left a little long because it's just easier to cut it. It was like the last of the 4 feet, so I just put it on as size and then just cut it off after I hammered it in. And then that's our last piece being hammered in. And I don't know, like in this shot you can see the little nails that are sticking out. That's the reason why they're there, is to hook onto your material, your tufting material. Music be the movement, everybody on a mission.
This is Tufting Cloth. I got this from Amazon. You can get this from many places. This is Tufting Cloth. Some people use monk's cloth and some people use burlap. I'm going to try all 3 at some point to see which one I like better. Of course, burlap is so much more cheap. Is that right? A lot cheaper than Tufting Cloth. You can buy them by like on the roll. So this is supposed to go on so it's tight. I think, let me see the measurement on this cloth. I think this is 79 inch by 79 inch, I think. Let's see. So we'll start loose and then we'll tighten it up. And the cloth like just hangs, attaches to all those little nail thingies.
I do have a design flaw in my frame. Well, it's not a flaw, it's just I don't really like it the way I thought I was gonna like it. and I'll fix it in the future. I'm just not gonna do it now. But my frame, the bottom, it's hard to stick it on those little nails because my legs are in the way. So for more tightness at the bottom, I'm just taking an industrial stapler and stapling the bottom just to make sure it's tight. But I will fix that on the legs sometime later. I'm sure that this is my first frame I'm building. It won't be my last one. So this will work for the time being. I'm now adding a little part, like a little stand to the side, and basically what this is, it's just gonna hold my my yarn spools. So that's what I'm putting here. And I'm going to cut it down, cutting down 2 dials with a handsaw so that I can put it on this little stand to hold my yarn spools. Just taking a little bit of sandpaper and sanding the top of it so it's flat. So now I'm going to drill 2 holes. I actually used the wrong drill bit. I should have used a different drill bit, so I'm going to have to go in with a different drill bit to get the size hole I actually wanted. If I would have started with this drill bit, the hole would have been much cleaner, but it is what it is. So as long as it fits, and then I'm going to take, after I vacuum up the mess, I'm going to take some wood glue and place it in the slots. That is it for this video. Thank you for rocking with me. I hope to see you soon.